The 2023 silly season has not been that explosive this year, but that's also to come with certain moves and not really as many changes that could happen like last year. Now, we need an Alonso type movement to actually stir the pot, and then we're going to get that rotation of this and this and this and this, but that isn't going to happen this year. Regardless, I want to give you my predictions for the 2024 drivers and where everybody will change, because we do have some changes with some contracts ending going into it from specific teams like Haas and Williams and even Mercedes. So let's talk about them. I'm going to be going in constructor standing order. Now, let's start out with the AlphaTauri team. Now, they have potential to be losing both drivers. There are rumors of Yuki Tsunoda signing again, but let's start this off spicy because that's kind of where I want to start it anyways. I think Yuki is signing again for the 2024 season, and I think Liam Lawson is also joining him side by side for AlphaTauri. Now, I think that this driver pairing would be great because it would be another challenge for Yuki. He has Daniel Ricciardo currently in the seat, but I think by the end of the season, Daniel Ricciardo will not be there and Yuki will be. I think Liam Lawson will be another real marker for Yuki to see, can he hit this mark? Can he be as fast as Liam? Because Liam has been great in Super Formula. And let's see if Liam can actually win Super Formula, because I think it's very possible in that car he can win Super Formula. It's a great avenue for him to go through. Pierre Gasly used that exact same avenue, and that's how he got into Formula One with the AlphaTauri team. So, well, Toro Rosso at the time, but still. Let's see where it goes. That's my 2024 prediction for AlphaTauri. Haas has the potential of losing both Hulk and K-Mag. Now, I think these two drivers are already set for the 2024 seat. I don't really see them changing anything. There is potential of another driver that could happen, and it's being discussed with the whole entire crazy, silly season going in the IndyCar real situation right now. So yes, something could come out of it. And for that reason, I'm going to say that Nico Hülkenberg and Alex Palou are going to be on the Haas team. He's rumored to be going to AlphaTauri or Williams, but I don't see that happening. I actually think Haas is going to pick him up. They're going to see like American driver, oh, this and this. I think he's going to seize his opportunity. I think Gunther's already looking for a replacement for K-Mag. I think they would still be solid for 2024, but with these performances, I think Gunther's already looking somewhere else. So let's see. There's not been anything announced. I do think Nico will re-sign again. Now for Alfa Romeo. Alfa Romeo is a team that is going to be keeping, I think, their same lineup. It's going to be Guan Yu Zhou and Bottas. I think they want to keep a little bit of stability going into these next seasons. They have the Chinese Grand Prix. Why not keep that little bit of money with Guan Yu Zhou? But also, he's been doing pretty well. So keep him in stability for the Alfa Romeo team. Now let's go into Williams. Now this is the team that took me a minute to figure out what's going to happen here. Alex Albon and Logan Sargent are your current drivers over there. So it is a good driver pairing right now. I think that obviously Logan has been a bit behind on the pace, and rightfully so. He's a rookie. He probably should have had 2 years in F2, but hey, he's learning it here in Formula One. And one thing we know about Williams is they are pretty lenient on rookies. Now they do have a new team principal. They kept Latifi in for 3 years, and Latifi was nowhere for the 3 years. So I don't see them kicking out Logan Sargent. As much as I would like to say Mick is joining that seat, I think James Vowles has kind of a mentality to say, you know what, I don't think that taking Toto's move is the right move. I think in 2025, Mick has a chance of joining the Williams squad or whatever other team that may be. But in 2024, I think right now the seat is pretty solid over there at Williams. I do not see them switching their lineup that they currently have. At number 6, let's go for the Alpine team. Now, I'm going to be quick with this one. They're keeping the same lineup. They have contracts till the end of 2024, I think, for both of them, or 2025. So they're going to be keeping the same team. No reason for them to change the full-out French team. Now, talking about McLaren, I think McLaren is also keeping the same team going into 2024. Why would they trade out Piastri? Lando ain't moving anywhere. I don't think so, because the car's actually been improving. Otherwise, I had a thought process that he would move, but I don't think so. McLaren is keeping their team as well. Let's go to the top 4. Top 4, let's start off with Ferrari. Now, could Ferrari get a certain someone? No, they're keeping the same people. Obviously contracts, but you'll see later on in this video that I don't think contracts matter that much. And we've seen it in the season actually happen to where disbursements happen and other stuff happens. So it's still going to have a interesting dynamic over there at Ferrari. I think that Carlos Sainz is getting a little wary of the direction they're taking. And recently it just came out that the actual Ferrari owner is talking about that he had a conversation with Lewis Hamilton and it didn't end up going through. Lewis gave him a nice no thanks. But that already tells you there's already rumors for Charles Leclerc signing with that team. So what's actually happening with Carlos Sainz? Well, gives you the notice. They're looking for another driver. They either want another driver to Charles Leclerc's level, or they're going to make Charles Leclerc the guy that's going to have to give up his position every single time to Leclerc, which already kind of happens in my opinion. I think with Binotto, it wasn't the case. With here, they either keep the position, Leclerc, you're either going to be in front, or they're going to have to change from Leclerc being behind to the front. So I think that they already have that 1-2 driver dynamic. I think Carlos Sainz, after 2024 though, is leaving. I think he's going to go to probably Audi, which will be Sauber next year. So I probably should have said it for Alfa Romeo. Regardless, that's where I think Carlos will go. Now let's talk about Aston Martin. This is a team that I kind of want to dive into. So obviously wearing the Aston Martin shirt, Fernando Alonso was my guy. He's obviously staying. Now for Lance Stroll, will Lance Stroll be there for that 2024 seat? Unfortunately so. Now, I like Lance, but he cannot be performing the way that he's performing. I do not think that is a good look for the Aston Martin team. And I think as this Honda deal keeps arising and arising and arising, they're going to be looking to other drivers like Iwasa at that time could be a formidable option. Yuki could be a formidable option because of the whole entire Japanese and Honda deal. I think they might want to grab some type of driver there. Now, obviously, Alonso might not be driving till that 2026 season, but I think that they're already going to be looking into that. There are reports coming out of even David Coulthard and other people talking about how Lance doesn't really care about sport anymore. He's not going to be driving anymore. But then there's also reports coming out from Fernando preparing Lance to really lead the team and really make it that much better. Now, I don't know how well of a job Lance or Fernando can really do with Lance. I think it can be a good dynamic between the two with a 1-2 driver setup. But Lance has to perform a lot better in qualifying. He has to be a lot better in his tires. After all these years, he's got to have learned some type of tire management. That's where he really lacks, and that's where his pace kind of falls off. He's not bad at one-lap pace or even race pace in general, but his tires get smashed 90% of the time when Alonso's look like they're brand new. So something is going wrong in the way that he's driving the car is inconsistent, and I think that that is the biggest issue with Lance. Regardless of that, though, they're keeping the 2024 lineup. I do think change is coming, though, within that Aston Martin team if he continues to perform like this. Let's go into Mercedes and Red Bull, our last teams. Let's talk about Mercedes first. Now, Lewis Hamilton is not confirmed to be coming into 2024, but let's be honest, that guy's stacking up a fat deal. He's trying to set up a ownership in Mercedes, trying to take that type of almost Niki Lauda type setup to where he can kind of be an ambassador for the team, walk around, give a couple pats on the shoulder telling you you're doing a great job, but get a fat stack of cash at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I don't see why that would be an issue for Lewis. He should be getting that. That guy has made Mercedes probably millions and millions, if not billions of dollars through him being the advertisement, the guy, the whole entire icon for Mercedes and really Formula One as a sport. I don't see why he shouldn't be an ambassador. Completely deserves that role. He already has business ventures in other teams, like even the Denver Broncos here in America. So, be a great business move for him. Be an ambassador there. Maybe have some equity into the whole entire Mercedes team. I don't see why this is not a possibility, but this also takes time in contracts. It takes a little bit more effort. So a lot of negotiation going down, and I think that's what's making it such a long process. Otherwise, though, I do feel like this will be the 2024 lineup that we have. Now going into the big dog, the Red Bull. This seat is probably the one that everybody's looking at like, I want it and I want it now because it'll be the winning seat. And who do I have for the 2024 lineup? Well, I'll tell you this. It's different, and if you haven't guessed yet, it's Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo. Now, this is a far-fetched one, but I've been kind of saying it since the beginning of the season. I kind of think that this just still will happen. Checo has Singapore to show that he can be competitive with Max. Japan should not be a great race for him. I think Zandvoort, he's going to struggle. I think Monza, he's going to struggle. On tracks that are not street tracks, Perez just struggles, and we do not have that many more street tracks. Maybe Qatar will be good because a little bit underseeing Qatar is not too bad, but yet again, Max was a monster in Qatar, so I don't know. It's tough to judge Perez showing enough to where they're like, oh, Daniel Ricciardo is not looking like the better driver. I think he will be. I think he's going to prove that he's better than Yuki. I already think off of pace alone, he has been better in the first two races. Yes, he finished behind in Belgium. He also started behind. And if you look at the pace, there was like a 1/10 difference between them, and Daniel had a horrible strategy. Now in Hungary, strategy is reversed. Daniel was ahead. Let's see. But I think that Daniel by the end of the year will be beating Yuki by a good amount, but I think they still keep Yuki because Yuki is going to be the marker there while they actually move up Daniel. So let's see, but this is my opinion. I think that Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen are going to be that 2024 lineup. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Honestly, let me know your opinion on it, and where do you think these drivers will really line up? Because it's not a big silly season, but hey, and Alex Palou joining the team, getting a different lineup in Haas. I mean, that would be very cool. I'd love to see Liam Lawson in the sport. I'd love to see Daniel Ricciardo back in the Red Bull. That could make for a very exciting 2024 season. But I'd like to hear whether it's outrageous or not. Give me your opinion down below. I'd love to hear it. Thank you guys so much for the support. Please leave a like, subscribe. It'd mean the world, and peace.